It's March Madness in the basketball world, and if you're like me and you get a little lost with all that bracket talk, we've enlisted the help of our intern, Alexis Stuprath, to go out and find those slam dunk answers. All right, Alexa, the only thing I know is how to dribble and how to pass. So what'd you find out for us?
So I decided that since we are in the midst of March Madness, I should take to the streets of ASU and find out what questions students really had out there.
So who does our first question come from?
Our first question comes from Ben, and he is a freshman at ASU.
How many teams are in the NCAA tournament?
Ben?
There are a total of 68 teams in the NC tournament, aka March Madness.
Did not know that.
And these teams make the cut because they are their respective conference champions. So they are Division I men's ball teams, and they have the best records in their individual conferences.
All right, great answer. Our next question, who's it come from?
Our next question comes from Abby, and she is a junior at ASU.
How many games total are played during March Madness?
So there are a total of 67 games played during March Madness.
Is that why it seems like it goes on forever?
That must be what it is. So the first games you're going to see are called 4 play-in games, and that's where the lowest ranked teams compete against each other. Then after that, we move on to 32 round 1 games, 16 round 2 games, then we have 8 Sweet 16 games, 4 Elite 8 games, 2 Final 4 games, and then our championship game.
All right, that's interesting. I had no idea. Do we have another question?
No.
Okay, so what else about the March Madness do we need to know, especially when it comes to all of those brackets? Because I hear everyone talking about it, and I'm too afraid to even try it.
So a bracket is basically where you're determining who is going to win each round. So we start with our 68 teams, and then you're going to predict who will win each individual game, then from there, who will win each round, and then as you go from round to round, you will ultimately predict who is going to win the championship game.
Okay, what are my chances, though, that my bracket, if I fill it out, is going to be correct?
Well, you would probably think you have a really good chance. You're like, that's so easy, 50-50, I could get that right away. But actually, you have a 1 in 9.2 quintillion chance of having a perfect bracket. So that's a 9 with 18 zeros after it.
So does that mean when it comes to Powerball, am I going to be luckier in the lottery than I am with my bracket?
You are. You actually have a 1 in 175 million chance of winning the Powerball, which I know sounds crazy, but if we compare that to the perfect March Madness bracket, you are actually 50 billion times more likely to win the Powerball than you are to have a perfect bracket.
Look at those stats that you're putting out. I'm so impressed. All right, who do we think is going to win this year? Who's kind of favored?
So right now, Kansas is the #1 seed. They're expected to do really well. But other teams that were really supposed to be looked at from the start were Michigan State, Virginia, North Carolina, and Oklahoma.
And we can't forget U of A. I think, what, number 19?
Yes, number 19 out of 68, but I go to ASU, so I repped my team today, and U of A is no longer in the tournament. So actually,
sorry, guys.
we're all happy at ASU about that.
All right, well, Alexa, thank you so much. Way to go out there and find the answers for us. Our intern on Your Life A to Z. And if you want to find out more information about the show, just head to our website, and we'll be right back.